Okay, a little shopkeeping before we get into the actual video. I have a bigger project I'm working on currently for the channel. So I didn't want to leave y'all hanging for a week. So here's a little bit of a, not a filler episode, but like a little bit of a bumper. We'll say a bumper episode. So sit back, relax, maybe get you some water or something. I don't know. Just enjoy a little shorty. That's kind of great. Yeah. Enjoy the short video. Okay. Back to the actual video now. Bye. Cubix was supposed to be the next big thing. Robots were everywhere in the early 2000s. Well, not in real life, unless you count those creepy robot dogs, but like in media, we were eating well. But here in the magical land of 2025, we have robots now, and let's just say they're not as fun as they were in the early 2000s. But back in 2000, when the future was bright and AI wasn't stealing jobs and being forced down our throats by corporations, the idea of advanced AI and robotics seemed super cool and less dystopian. We had shows like Transformers Armada, Metabots, Mega Man NC Warriors, the list goes on and on. But then there was Cubix, Robots for Everyone, a show that either changed your life or made you go, oh, wait, that was the one with the Burger King toy, right? 4Kids bet big on this one. Cubix had the budget, the toys, and the prime time Saturday morning slot. And even with all that backing it, why did it disappear faster than Blockbuster did for a lot of people? Well, we're gonna figure that out. So, I'm Remy, and I just want to know, has anyone checked on Cubix? And if not, let's. I was kind of gassing it a bit earlier, but Cubix wasn't just another Saturday morning cartoon. It was a calculated media experiment. 4Kids Entertainment, yeah, the same people that brought you the One Piece rap, wanted their own franchise, so they teamed up with South Korean animation studio Cinepex. And what was the pitch? A full CGI show about customizable robots that could morph into different shapes. The concept alone sounds kind of cool. But in 2001, CGI TV shows were still, we'll say, finding their footing. You had Beast Wars, which it had its charm, and Reboot, which apparently was super pioneering. I've never seen it, but people like it. But then you had Cubix. Well, it was definitely ambitious. The question is, did it work? A quick answer?
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Sort of. It's okay. So here's the premise. The year is 2040, which is crazy to say is not that far anymore. Our main character Connor is moving to a new town. Well, Bubble Town to be specific. Where robots aren't just a thing, they are the thing. And Connor wants a robot of his own, but he fails his compatibility test, which is kind of awkward, so no bot for him. But then, because Destiny works in mysterious ways, also very extremely convenient ways for an MC, he stumbles upon Cubix, a busted up half-dead robot who's just in the back of a repair shop conveniently for him to fix up. Now granted, he did fail that compatibility test, but apparently he has a master's degree in robotics that we all just didn't know about. So he fixes Cubix up. The kid fixes up a robot with super advanced technology. He just gets to work and just knows, and I'm not gonna question it, but like, man, that's just so silly. Why don't you just build your own robot? If you like, I'm not trying to question it too much and just like suspension of disbelief back on, but like, come on, man. Anyhow, after he fixes up Cubix, they become best friends. Well, as best friends as a robot who is programmed to be best friends with you can be. Take that as you will. Also, it turns out Cubix isn't just any regular robot. Go figure. He can break apart and rebuild himself. And that's at the crux of what makes him so important. What makes Cubix so important is the experimental energy crystal in his chest, crystallized solix. Which, let's go over that real fast. So solix comes in two forms, liquid and crystal. One is more commercialized and I'm sure is FDA approved or something. That's the liquid one. Now Cubix has the crystal one, which is another way of saying he has an experimental energy source in his chest. And he was just in a repair shop, in the back, chilling. And not in some super secret protective lab underground with radiation proof walls or glass doors or some form of radiation protection. Because you can't just have unprotected energy like that just out here and about in the regular degular. Radiation poisoning is a thing. That energy source is untested clearly because it's so rare that everyone wants it. As in everyone, I mean Dr. K and the alien. There's an alien in Cubix in case you forgot. So there's that element. But yeah, they just have this weird experimental energy source around kids for God knows how long. And just nobody says anything. I just like, I get it, kid show, but like, where's the one person that like questions, man, that robot Cubix is sure doing some crazy stuff and he never seems to charge, like ever. How is he doing that? Not one single adult or robotics expert in all of Bubbletown ever questioned that, huh? Why Cubix can do all this crazy stuff, and then like he was just in a repair shop for who knows how long. I'm like, no proprietary technology in Cubix or nothing, none of that. Just all right, you got it. I surrendered. I'ma stop questioning it. But every episode of Cubix was kind of save the day, power of friendship is magic, but with robots. And Cubix saving the day with the power of his super experimental energy source that he has that I'm not gonna talk about anymore. Anyway, the show had action, it had an idea of a mystery, it did not have a mystery, but it thought it did. But it did have questionable CGI. Look, if you watched Cubix as a kid, you probably thought it looked awesome. If you watch it now, it's like staring directly into a PlayStation 1 cutscene. Take that as you will. TV CGI at the time was rough, Cubix was no exception. While other shows looked worse around the time, Cubix definitely did not age well. The robot design was cool, the human characters moved like they were on Windows 98, so not great, not fun, looked incredibly rough. But like I said earlier, you gotta give credit where credit's due. When it came to the robots, they put the money with the robots. They had smoother animations. Cubix was fluid for whenever he was really doing stuff. His cutscenes are solid. They wanted you to know Cubix was clearly the main character because he is where the budget was. And the budget didn't just stop in the TV show. The budget also went into toys and video games and merchandising. Cubix was really trying to be a brand. Cubix had action figures, play sets, video games, and even that Burger King meal deal, which I know my viewership demographic, I know most of y'all have seen that stupid Cubix toy from the kid meal set or whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the one you had to find all 30-some pieces to build Cubix. I know. Those things are amazing, and they're just gone forever now. The only toy that was like probably on par with that level of cool was the Inspector Gadget toy, or when McDonald's gave out those Sonic video games, like the ones with like 2 buttons, but like the fact that you got a video game with a Happy Meal was crazy back in the day. And unfortunately, I've actually never played any of the video games for Cubix. That actually might be a good thing after looking at it. While doing research for this video, those games look rough. And not even like the fun, like nostalgia rough, but more like just like, y'all kind of slapped some spaghetti code together and put some 3D models in this, huh? Yep, and made a racing game. It was definitely a thing. The reviews of it weren't the best, which I feel like is understandable. But, you know, they tried, so that's cool. So even with the video games, the toys, the TV show, and all these other elements trying to back and push Cubix, the hype fizzled out. Why wasn't Cubix the next Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh? And after 2 seasons, the show also got kind of shelved. So what happened? So I'm gonna have to put a shot in the dark here on this one. The reasons why I think Cubix failed was 1, poor CGI, just did not age well. 2, characters were forgettable at best. Premise wasn't that interesting. It was episodic. Well, there was technically an overarching story, but mostly episodic, so you don't feel like there's any real progression because everything's like the same thing. Every week you come back to watch it. It just wasn't, it never stuck with anybody. You would see Cubix and you're like, oh, okay, Cubix, cool, fun. But it doesn't have any like, oh man, I'm attached to Cubix, the non-verbal robot. And even now, I asked a couple of my friends who are about my age, around their late 20s, and I just wanted to know if like, hey, do y'all remember Cubix? Like, you know, the show Robots for Everybody, you know, the multicolored robot that broke apart and stuff. And they'd be hesitant. They'd take them a while. Then I'd show them an image. They're like, oh yeah, that's the old dude from the robot show. I'm like, yeah. Remember what the show was about? They're like, nah, drawing a blank, my guy. And it's like, that's fair. That's completely fair. Then I bring up the toy and they're like, oh, dude, the toy was crazy. And I said, what toy? And they talk about the Burger King toy. It's not even like any official toy. It's literally just a Burger King toy. And then we would continue the conversation. And after a while, I'd be like, hey, did that show get canceled? And I'm like, I'm not sure myself. And it didn't. It just finished its showing. And then we both just kind of agreed that it was just a mess show, which sucks because I have fond memories of Cubix. And looking back at it, I don't know why I do. And then I played the theme song, and I'm like, oh, that's why. This theme song used to take me to church, man. That theme song was crazy.
Day and night, yeah. 'Cause you got the robot who sets everything right. Cubix, powers beyond compare. Cubix, evil forces better beware.
So is Cubix Robots for Everyone actually good? Kind of. I'm gonna definitely say it kinda. It was ambitious, fun, and full of potential. But unfortunately, I feel like Cubix never reached the heights 4 kids wanted for their show. And that sucks. However, it's still an important part of that era's love affair with robots. And I think it's fine that Cubix is good where it is. And to be honest, I don't think everyone needs robots anymore. Robots for everyone. I'm sorry, that was dumb. Honestly, I think Cubix is fine where it is. It had its limelight. It had its fun 15 minutes of fame or whatever. It's good. I don't think it needs to come back. No reboots are needed. I don't think anyone's dying for new Cubix episodes. And if you are, I hope you get them. So, did you watch Cubix as a kid? Do you remember the toys? Or did you ever have those super cool Burger King kid toy sets? Let me know in the comments below, and talk about any of the early 2000 shows you want me to cover in the future, and one of these kind of loose bumpers, not full deep dives like I've been doing for the last couple videos. Yeah, so thank you for letting me check up on Cubix and a Lucy bumper, whatever we're gonna call these in the future. I don't know if I even do more of these. Like and subscribe and all the other fun stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Y'all take it easy.